Let's talk about that first meeting you have with a team member, maybe someone you haven't worked with before, and the project hadn't started yet, but you're having your first session with them. Rather than talk about do's and don'ts, let's talk about what we want to produce out of that meeting, what the meeting should deliver. There are 5 things. First of all, we'd like a team member who has a little bit of enthusiasm for the project and their assignment. 2, we'd like a team member who doesn't feel the need to pad their estimates wildly to protect themselves from getting blamed or screwed in the project. 3, we'd like somebody who is comfortable giving us bad news as soon as they find out about it, rather than with too much optimism, continue to work on things and not tell you about the problem. 3, we'd like someone who is reasonably committed to doing high productivity. And 5, high quality. Those are the 5 things we're looking for, and we get all 5 of those very rarely. Now let's talk about the common practice, and if that'll give us those 5 performance dimensions, and then we'll talk about the best practices. All right, now let's talk about the common practices in that first meeting between a project manager and a team member, and then discuss how likely the common practice is to yield those 5 performance dimensions we want. A typical conversation with the team member, the project manager starts off by telling the team member how important the project is. Then the project manager goes on to describe how high level and influential the sponsor is. Maybe even saying things like, boy, if we do a good job for this sponsor, it'll mean a lot for our careers. 3, the project manager says the project is really critical to the organization, and 4, everybody is going to be watching us, our performance on this project. And all 4 of those things are thinly veiled threats, aren't they? Would you come out of a meeting like that with feeling no need to pad your estimate? Would that meeting make you feel comfortable in revealing problems or bad news early? I don't think so. And even at the end, when the project manager comes back and tells you how we're going to be really one tight family and all pulled together in the same direction, well, that's a nice sentiment, but it does not get you over those thinly veiled threats. I don't think the common practice delivers anything of those 5 performance dimensions that we want, and frankly, most times that puts the project team member hearing these thinly veiled threats, puts them on alert to pad the estimate so they don't get blamed, and to try and work out problems rather than reveal them to these high-ranking people who were watching the whole project. So I think we can say the project manager is his own or her own worst enemy if they conduct that first meeting with a team member in the way I've described. Now let's go on and talk about the best practices. Okay, now let's talk about the best way to handle that first meeting with a project team member. Remember, what we're after here is a little bit of enthusiasm, some productivity, some high quality work, someone who doesn't feel the need to pad estimates, and someone who will tell you about problems early. Those are the 5 things we're looking for. I think the best way to get those is to start off by talking about the project manager's role and the team member's role. And start by describing your role and the commitments you're making to the team member. And one of them is you're going to make a crystal clear assignment so the team member knows what a good job is before they start work. Second of all, you're going to put this in writing and sit down with the team member and discuss the achievement they're going to deliver and what risks they see, what risks that are going to cause problems, cause more work, what risk events might actually cause less work. And the project manager really wants to know about that last one for obvious reasons. Then you're going to lay out, the team member's going to lay out what they need to get started and do this assignment? What input deliverables, if you will, they have to have before they can start work? With all that laid out in writing, the project manager will work with the team member, and together they will come up with an estimate. What's best is a 3-point estimate, so we have some assessment of risk in the assignment. But even if you just go with a single number, what you're talking to the team member about is a work and duration estimate that has a 60% probability of being high enough. In other words, there's only a 40% chance of the assignment taking more work than you've estimated. When we do it this way, we tend to minimize the amount of padding the team member feels is necessary. And two, when the project manager is defining in writing what a good job is, I think we give our team members a bit more confidence in the clarity of the assignment and the fact that it's not going to be changing in terms of what we...
A big part of a project manager's success is based on communicating in meetings with individuals or small groups and in making presentations. Our individual instruction courses give you practice in these areas in live online sessions. Your instructor will play the role of the person with whom you're working. The sessions are a lot of fun and our students and instructors enjoy them. You'll get live practice thinking on your feet and answering the questions that PMs have to answer. It's just the two of you working privately, and if you get off track, your instructor will call timeout, give you feedback and coaching, and then back up the meeting so you can try again. Please consider one of our courses.